the Crew 3 could be a thing. It could be coming out. So the Crew 2, to be honest, it's been very lackluster. And here's why. It's because there's no PvP at launch, no summon at launch. There's both some complaints, and my problem with that is it interferes with other stuff of the game, like the graphics, and that some areas are just straight up messed up, and like the map and all that. And then there's no. Crew 2 is basically just a missed opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say. I do go on Crew 2 every now and then, just play a new summon for a little bit, then I just go away, play something else like Need Speed Heat or Forza Horizon 4, go back to it. Yeah, that's the thing. I only do it every now and then. So, in the Crew 3, here's what exactly that it needs to be like. It needs to be focused on cars, bikes, like street racing, off-road racing, all of that. And then, I wouldn't mind if planes or boats are in there, but they should probably be DLC or like an expansion. So it should be mainly focused on cars and bikes. Another thing that won the Crew 3, if it's ever coming out, is faction missions, because I actually really like those things in the Crew 1. And the Crew 2 doesn't have it, which basically just led to almost everyone just going back to the Crew 1 and still playing the heck out of it. Yeah, people like me who really liked the first Crew. Specifically Wild Runs. This is a Crew 1 at launch. It wasn't that good. And then there was no PvP at launch. Yeah, that's what I said. And PvP in the Crew 2 is never improved. It's just not improved from the Crew 1, but it's actually worse in some ways. Because the Crew 1 had some problems with PvP, like the netcode wasn't that good, and that in the Crew 2 does nothing for that. Crew 1's PvP is actually still really good, so probably play PvP. And the other thing that won the Crew 3 is illegal street racing, because that's what the Crew 1 had. Like, doesn't have to be like underground street racing, like stuff like Need Speed, but it should be illegal in some way. Like, have cops and races, have free roam cops, or like, and then like off-road racing, all of that, like all the stuff like Crew 1, but expanded upon. That's the point of a sequel. And then Crew 1, they basically just scrapped everything in the Crew 1. They redid it, knowing nothing about the Crew 1. That's what it basically did. The other thing that won the Crew 3 is PvP actually improved. And like summits and all that. And way more like interesting updates, because Crew 2's updates have not been that good. Probably except for Hot Shots, but that wasn't super good. So, next thing about the Crew 3, that I'm going to talk about, like, what I want, is each area feeling different when in the Crew 2 everywhere just feels the same. And I want them to be authentic, like you think you're in that area. One, the Crew 2, like, for example, when you're in Miami, you don't feel like you're in Miami. It says it snows in there all the time. That's the problem with it. And, like, if you like, go to Miami, you're probably not going to see snow. But it's in the Crew, but in the Crew 1, there's only snow in certain, like, areas accurately. Another thing that I wanted the Crew 3 is to be, like, I just don't want, like, what I'm trying to say is that in the Crew 3, what I would want is the game not to be a sampler like the Crew 2 is. Like, putting so many disciplines out. Like, I think the Crew 3 might have, like, different disciplines of, like, racing, stuff like that. If they do, put everything out. Make sure there's enough events in each discipline. since the Crew 2 is doing the opposite. They're putting so many disciplines out, and they're not putting enough events into them. So another thing about the Crew 3 is that I wanted to have a kind of underworld story, since the story in the Crew 2 is garbage, because it's just this cliche get noticed stuff. Like, come on, that's overused. Like, think of something different to make it stand out, since it doesn't. That's the problem with it. And I just want something kind of like underworld, like the first Crew. Like, have... Now, like, I don't really know how to describe it. Like, something like the Crew 1. Since the Crew 2, it doesn't stand out for much types of, like, racing game structures. So, it's basically the main things I want the Crew 3. And then I also want, what was it? I would also want, oh, I just forgot what I was gonna say. So, I finally thought of it. I want the Crew 2 to have the Crew 3 to have a big expansion, like Wild Run. And then later on, have like a little small one, and like kind of like calling all units, but like have a big expansion that improves a lot of stuff in the Crew 3. Because the Crew 2 has not gotten any good support right now. So, I want a big expansion that adds, like, whole new stuff for, like, graphics overhaul, like, all that. That's what I want in the Crew 3. Like, a big expansion. It could be completely free. Another thing that I wanted the Crew 3 is an improved soundtrack. Since soundtrack in Crew 2, it's okay, there's 2 songs I like as soundtrack. But thing is that it doesn't feel that themed or specific. Well, the Crew 1 soundtrack, it was more themed. It's more specific. That's the thing about it. And I also want an editor like the Crew 1. Like, kind of like EA Tracks that was in, like, old Need for Speed games of the early 2000s. Stuff like that. So, the Crew 3 should also have way cheaper cars than what's in the Crew 2. Because in the Crew 2, everything is so overpriced. And you can make money easy to come by, but you can also make it rewarding as well. Like, the cars are way too expensive. That's the thing. And here's what I'm saying. So that's all I have about, like, what I want in the Crew 3. Hopefully it has the stuff if it's coming out. And I will see you later.